Hi, it's Malcolm Ailes from Full Contact Software. Today I'm going to be introducing you to the new auto process window that's been released in version 5.04 of Club Administrator. This window that you can see here at the top of the screen when you open Club Administrator will manage synchronizing the class entry module or modules that you're using. It'll manage automatically backing up your data, and the new feature that it introduces is auto messaging where you can set up messages that will be sent automatically based on events. So we'll go through that now. Now, normally when you open Club Administrator, this window will come up. If it's not open, if you go to any of the screens that this manages, say for instance, if you go to the backup data screen, you can see it's got this scheduler backup here. And if everything was off, all you'd have to do is turn it on and that will automatically open that window, but normally it will come up as being open. Now the first thing we're going to look at is the auto sync function that it gives you. So here this will automatically synchronize your database at midnight every day, or when you open Club Administrator, if it hasn't been open for the day, it will automatically synchronize it. If this function's turned on, you can just click it to turn it off, and there is there. Okay, and it's your regular synchronize function. You can see we've added in here the ability to have more than one class entry module that you're syncing with. Also makes it easy if you're wanting to synchronize, you can just click on the sync on the little box there. That will tell you when it was last synchronized. So you can see it was last synchronized at midnight. If you don't want to see this whole screen, you can just hit the up arrow to reduce the size of it. Auto backup, same thing. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, and if you open it up, all the settings are in here. Now with this new function, it sort of makes redundant the startup backup options. If you're not wanting to use this automated feature, you can still use the auto backup on startup, but if you're using that, well, you probably don't need the auto backup on startup. So you can see I've now changed that to no auto backup on startup there. Now the other thing, the main thing that this gives you is the new auto message function. So the first thing we'll look at is the messages. You'll see that the messages that you have set up to send will all appear in the screen here. Now all of these have been set to tomorrow. This is actually the messages that I'm currently using in my live database. If I click on active events here, it'll open up all those messages. Now the messages are sent based on certain events. So for instance here we have new student welcome. So this runs every day, and it's going to be sent to students that have just started the day after they start. We've got birthday SMS 18 plus, so this is going to people who have a birthday and they're over 18, birthdays under 18, 2 weeks away from their grading, lead follow-up. So this is where I want to follow up leads that haven't joined up 2 weeks after they haven't joined. These are follow-ups for people whose gradings are coming up. New student, 1 week adult, new student, 1 week youth. So these are messages that people are going to get 1 week after they start. New student 2 weeks, so that's to all. When people are on a trial and that's ending. So you can see there's a lot of different types of messages, a lot of different reasons why you might want to send them. And the other important thing here is away 2 weeks. So these are people that haven't been in to train in 2 weeks. That's a message that you're going to want to be using there for following up your absent students. Now we'll go through how to set these messages up. So you can see on the screen here we've got a number of fields. Active, if you want to make one of these messages active, inactive permanently or temporary, you can just click on here to make it active or inactive. The description is just something so you'll easily recognize the message. Here you can easily see how it's being sent, whether it's being sent to email, whether it's an SMS, or whether it's both. When it's going to next run. Most of the messages you're going to want to set up are going to be running every day. You're going to be looking for, what events are happening every day. As far as has someone now been away for 2 weeks? Is it their birthday today? And so on. So most of them are going to be running every day, and this is when it's going to next run. For some though, like for here I've got gradings approaching in 4 weeks time. You can see these are running weekly. All my gradings are on a Saturday, so every week on a Saturday it goes through and has a look to see who is going to be grading. The time you want to send these messages, this will be more critical for when you're sending SMSs than when you're sending emails. You don't want to be SMSing your students at 1 o'clock in the morning or something. So that gives you the ability to set up what time you're wanting to send those messages. The log function here allows you to create a student note recording that message that you've sent, and you'll see later that then you can review what messages have been sent. Here is the actual message. Now, if you just wanted to look at the message, you can click on this icon here, and if it's a HTML message, like an email message, then it'll automatically open it in the HTML editor. If it's an SMS message, then it'll just open it as a standard text box. Now, the messages themselves are set up through the multiple message send facility. If you've already been using multiple send messages, then sending multiple messages, then you'll be familiar with how that works. If you, rather than clicking on the magnifying glass here, if you just click on the message itself, then that will open that up. Okay, and all the same things as normal. You need to select the query type. So most of the time, you're going to be using your member styles programs query. That will be the most common one you'll be using. That brings up all the members and the programs they're associated with. Then you can limit that. So you can see here we've got this one limited to only the junior students. Now, the advanced criteria. In here, this is the important part where we've got the dates set up around that are going to trigger this to run. So you can see this has got date started, date minus 8 days. So what that's going to do is it means that a week after they started, the person is going to get this message, Hope, first name is having fun, and then it's got, it'll have either he or she, Hope is having fun, learning at Shiriodo Karate, getting into the habit of training and following instructions should be his or her first goal, Us Shihan Malcolm. So they're going to get this personalized message a week after they started, telling them their first goal is to get into the habit of training. And if you click list members, it'll show you who that message is going to be sent to today. There's no one in here who's going to get that message today. Okay, so that's how we set up that's what we get if we view an existing message. So let's just set up a new message here. We'll give it a description. We'll just call it test message for now. And you give it a description and then just click on the box here. It's going to open it up. So it's automatically opened it up with all styles and programs. In selection criteria here, you can limit it to a certain range of students. So you might only want to send it to, say, your black belt. So we'd limit it from Kari, Shodan to Godan. Then in the advanced criteria here, now we need to put in the date criteria for how we're going to send this message. So for instance, if I click on find dates here, it's limiting it to the dates that are in that table. Okay, now let's just say we were wanting to send a follow-up message, say 1 month after somebody stopped. Okay, so we've got a senior student, they've stopped. So if we click on date stopped and add date function, now it tells us X days until date. No, we want it X days after date. So how many days after they stopped? Let's just say we want to wait, say we're going to follow it up 60 days or maybe 30 days, what might be better, 30 days after they stopped, and generate criteria. Okay, so now it's got date stopped equals date minus 30 days, and okay. So then we put our message in here. If we're wanting to send an SMS, then we'd select, to SMS only. If we wanted to make it an email, we'd select to email only. If we were sending an email, we'd probably be wanting to do a HTML message. So we click on HTML. Now, you can see here I've got some standard messages set up. So if I just double click on a message here, it's going to add that message in. Now, another feature that's been added in this version is the ability to include photos in your message. So for instance, if I just click on insert image here, it's going to prompt me for the image address. If I go to my website, and if I go to, say, my news where I've got posts, and then I go into one of these, that's a recent post we've done, and I can just select the address of this image. So for instance, if I click on this image and I right click and click copy image address, okay, and then we'll just close that. If I selected another image, I can just right click and click copy image address. And now if I go back to here and I click in there and click paste and OK, now it's inserted an image at the bottom of the email there. I can just drag that up to where I wanted it in my email, and then format this message a little bit. So if I didn't want it quite that big, I can drag it down a bit smaller and so on. And then I might be putting a message in here, you're missing a lot of great events since you left. Would love to see you back. Check out our breaking seminar. And then you can select that here, and you can add a link. So we'd go back to our data, and here we'd select, the breaking seminar from there, and then go back here and bang, put that in there. Okay, and you can see now that's a hyperlink that when they click on it, they're going to go to the seminar. So this is the kind of emails you can be setting up really quickly and easily. And so if I go back here to selection menu, you can see there's all the HTML there. That's gonna format that email nicely to them. There's nothing more we need to do in here. It's all been set up now. So anyone that stopped a month before will get a message, and obviously you're not going to want to have it, fixed like that. That's just an example that I've given you, but it gives you an example as well of how to use these images. And there you've got our test message set up. Now, if we were setting up like that, next time we have an event, we could just go in here, bring it up, and we could change that. We could change those and change it to a new message. If you wanting to do that each month, give it a new message, give it a new event. That'd be great. So that's how we set up our messages. The next thing we're going to look at is the logging of messages and the failed messages. So I triggered a message earlier that to fail. I set up a message without a message, so it's got no message to send, and it's come up with a failure. you can go in and see why messages have failed. Most of the time it'll be an incorrect email, formatted email address or something, and then you can address that and then just delete all. Yes, I want to delete all. Okay, now you can see now that those failed messages are gone, it's coming up letting me know that there's been one SMS sent in the last 24 hours. This is our 24-hour log. If I go in there, I've created a log of those messages, and you can see it was a message to myself. You can see my phone number, and it's saying, "Hi Malcolm, this is a test message." I click delete all, and yes, then it deletes those messages, and we come back here, and there's nothing left for us to address. And that, in a nutshell, is the new auto process window that comes in version 5.04 of Club Administrator. I hope you enjoy using it. If you have any questions, just give us a call or send us an email. Thank you for your support, everybody.